Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a low-key get ready with me. I've got dinner with one of my close friends from work tonight, so I'm really excited. We're gonna go eat some really good Greek food, so I thought I'd sit down here on camera and get ready with you guys. So if you're curious to see how this turns out, then just continue watching. Okay, so starting off, you can see I've started with fresh skin right now. All I have on my skin is just my skincare. But starting off with primers, I thought we'd actually use a combination of a couple of new things as well as some stuff that I've already used. So the first two things I tried out already. The first one is the Tarte Timeless Smoothing Primer, which looks like this. This is limited edition packaging. It is so pretty. I mean, look at that. It is so gorgeous. And then I've got the Tarte Poreless Mattifying Primer as well. So I'm thinking of using this one right in the center where I've kind of got the largest pores and the most oil, and then the mattifying one everywhere else. So I think we'll start off by doing that. I'm going to go right ahead and start right here where I have the largest pores. I'm going to take some across the forehead too, down the nose, and then across the chin. And then I'm taking the Tarte Poreless Mattifying Primer, rubbing that between my hands, and I'm going to apply it everywhere else. So next, moving on to foundation, I actually picked up these ones quite a while ago. These are the Tarte Shape Tape Hydrating and Matte Foundations. I checked on the website after I filmed the haul and it turns out they don't sell these anymore. I think I'm going to go right ahead and maybe try the darker one because I've got some residual fake tan from the weekend. So this is the Tarte Shape Tape Hydrating Foundation in the shade Light Medium Sand. So here's what the packaging looks like. It is so cute. I actually really enjoy this packaging. It's got the same head as the concealer, which you can see I've got here. They pretty much look very similar. This one's just frosted in glass, whereas this one is kind of more of a plastic. This one also contains a... Oh, that's interesting. It's actually a doe foot applicator. So you're meant to kind of wipe this along the face and then blend it out. So we'll give this one a bit of a go. I'm just a little worried about the color because that looks really, really light. I mean, that's meant to be light medium sand. So I feel like that's quite light. So we might have to use this concealer and try to darken it up by contouring. Or even if I have to, I might mix a little bit into the foundation, but we'll see how we go. Yeah, that looks really light. But maybe it'll oxidize a little bit, so I'm going to go right ahead and just wipe that entire kind of doe foot just all over one half of my skin. Oh yeah, I think it's definitely darkening a little bit. Do you see that now? It's still quite light, but do you see that fresh swatch? It looks a little bit lighter, so we'll just see how this goes and maybe I won't have to darken it too much. So to blend that out, I'm going to try out this brush right here. This is the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. So it looks like this. It's kind of like a little mini dense tapered kabuki brush. Okay, so here's how we are looking. This half has one pump on the skin and this half has nothing. So you can see it does actually even out the skin. I would say right here we're looking a little bit patchy and maybe here we're looking a little bit uneven, but this part of the cheek actually looks really smooth. So I'm going to even myself out and then we'll do a second coat. That's the thing with an applicator that doesn't have a pump, is you can't really determine how much product is actually going on the skin. This might actually be a full coverage foundation, but seeing as I only have one kind of pull out that amount of product on the doe foot, you can't really tell if that's the equivalency to a pump or like a half a pump or a quarter of a pump. So, I mean, we'll just have to build it up and see. So here's how the skin is looking like with one coat on both sides. I would say maybe we're at a light to medium coverage, but I'm going to go right ahead and do another coat on both sides. You can definitely tell right here where I've got the fresher swatches. It is definitely oxidized about a half a shade. So here's what the skin ended up looking like with two coats of foundation on it. I would definitely say it built quite well. I would say we're pretty much now at a solid medium. I am quite happy with the amount of coverage, but as you can see, the color is definitely a little bit off. My neck, my shoulders, and my body are a lot darker than my face. So to save that, I'm going to go in with a little bit of cream contour. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Deep. So I'm going to go right ahead and just apply that on the normal areas that I contour. And then I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to blend it out. Yeah, that's a lot better. Now I feel like my face matches my body and we're a little bit more in unison now. So let's move on to concealer. So next for concealer, I'm going to try another shade of Shape Tape. This is the Tarte Shape Tape Contour Concealer in the shade Light Medium. So I'm going to go right ahead and apply some of that underneath the eyes, on top of the eyelid, through the center of the face, and along the chin. So to blend that out, I want to try out this brush right here. This is the Real Techniques Expert Concealer Brush, which looks like this. So I'm going to go right ahead and start blending out the chin, and then the nose, and then the under eye. I feel like this color is pretty much perfect for my fake tan because it's not too bright, nor is it too dark, and I like the undertone because it's a little bit more warm neutral. So moving on to powders, to start setting the under eye, I'm going to try out the Tarte Blot Party On The Go Mattifies powder again. I tried this out once before and I really enjoyed it, so I thought we'd try it again today. So to set the under eye, I really want to start trying out these Real Techniques Bold Metals Collection brushes. The first one here is the 101 Triangle Foundation Brush, and as you can see, it is kind of like a triangular, flat, pointed paddle brush. So I really want to try that one out for the under eye. So this is what the brush looks like. As you can see, it really is kind of that triangular shape. Like I feel like if I show you from the top, it really is a triangle. It's curious because I feel like the density of this is quite interesting. They definitely feel like synthetic fibers. They don't have that kind of bend that normally real hair brushes have, because I feel like if you was to use that for foundation, I truly think you'd get quite a streaky application. So we'll see how we go with powder. I'm almost curious to see whether I should use this side or this side, the flat side. Maybe on this side I'll try the flatter one, and then on this side maybe I'll use the more triangular shape, and we'll see how we go. So I'm dipping the flat side into the powder, and I'm going to go right ahead and start patting that underneath the eyes. So for the other side, I'm going to take this side of the triangle, kind of the smaller, flatter side, and I'm going to pat that into the powder, and I'm going to set the under eye on that side of the brush. It's super interesting because I do feel like you can see it took off a little bit of the concealer, kind of on both sides, but really on that triangular side, which is what you kind of expect. But I feel like the reason I wanted to try this side is because it is a triangle, so there has to be a benefit to it being a triangle on this end, if that makes any sense. So maybe it's meant to tuck in that side a little better, or maybe get around the other side, because I feel like if you're meant to only use it on the flat side, then why isn't it kind of more of a flat paddle? Does that make sense? So I feel like by having this kind of peak up here, you'd want that to be a benefit. So I thought maybe if I try to use it on this side, maybe it'd be a little bit better about getting around, but I feel like this side right here looks a little bit smoother because I've taken a little bit of the concealer off on this side. So I feel like I'm not too sure what the point of the brush being a triangular shape is. It's probably better off just kind of being flat and then triangular on the top versus it being a whole kind of pyramid shape. So I'll probably still use it for powder, but I'm just not sure if it'll be my absolute go-to, but I will get some use out of it. And then for the rest of the face, I want to try out this powder again. This is the Tarte Smooth Operator Amazonian Clay Tinted Press Finishing Powder in the shade Light. So to apply that, I'm going to try out my next Real Techniques Bold Metals Collection brush. This is the 100 Arched Powder Brush. So I'm going to take that brush straight into the powder, and I'm going to start setting the face. So next for contour, I wanted to try out this palette right here. This is the Tarte Don't Be Afraid to Dazzle Double Duty Beauty Contour and Highlight Palette. So here's what the packaging looks like. As you can see, it is that really intensive, shiny, metallic gold packaging. I'm going to go right ahead and use the contour powder in here. And then to apply the contour, I'm going to try out my third Real Techniques Bold Metals Collection brush. This is the 301 Flat Contour Brush. Tap it straight into the contour on the left, and I'm going to start contouring my cheek. It doesn't look that dark in the pan, but it definitely goes on the skin a lot darker. And then because I figured we've got it here, let's go right ahead and try out the highlighter. This is called Champagne Highlighter, and I think let's try that little triangular tip of the brush again. So I'm going to take it straight into the product, and I'm going to start highlighting my cheeks. It definitely is quite glowy. It's a different undertone than what I'm used to. It's maybe a little bit more grey, if anything. Maybe not as gold as I normally use, but I don't mind it. And then for blush, I wanted to try out the one in the Dose of Colours Disney collaboration with Minnie Mouse. This is called the Mini Eyeshadow Palette. This contains 6 eyeshadows and a blush, so I really want to try out the blush in this palette. But I mean, can we just talk about this packaging for a second? I mean, look at the unit carton and then the palette itself. I just think they are so cute. I can definitely tell they've put a lot of thought into this, so I'm excited to try it out. So here's what the inside of the palette looks like. It is so beautiful. I love the eyeshadows. I definitely think we'll use them today. But for the minute, I really want to try out this blush in the shade Hello Girly. It is the most beautiful muted peachy pinky brown color. I feel like that would be really pretty on the cheek today. So let's go right ahead and try that one out. So to apply that, I've got another one of these Real Techniques blush brushes. I already have one of these and I really enjoy it, so I was happy to open up a backup. It's quite a powdery blush, so I'm going to go right ahead and tap the excess off. And I'm going to apply that straight onto the cheek. So I feel like on my skin tone, it definitely translates a lot more bright and a lot more neon. Like if you compare it to the palette, do you see how on my cheek it's a lot more pink? Whereas in the palette, it's a lot more peach. I don't really mind it because I do like quite a punchy blush, but I feel like in case you were wondering, it definitely does look a lot brighter on the cheek. So I went right ahead and I zoomed you guys in so we could start on the eyes. But starting off with some eyeshadow primer, I've got the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in the original one. So I've just started off by rubbing a little bit of that in between my ring fingers. And I'm going to start tapping that all over the lid. So starting off for eyeshadow, I'm going to take another one of the Real Techniques Bold Metals Collection brushes. This is the 200 Oval Shadow Brush. And I'm going to go back into the palette and I'm going to take the transition color right here, which is called Forever Friends. And I'm going to pat that brush straight into that shadow. And I'm going to start pressing that into the outer corner of my lid. And I'm going to start dragging the excess through the crease. I might even take the same brush and flip it over and go back into the blush called Hello Girly. And I'm going to start blending that through the perimeter of the crease. And then next, taking another one of the Real Techniques Bold Metals Collection brushes. This one is called the 201 Pointed Crease Brush. I'm next going to grab the first eyeshadow in the palette called Shimmer On. I'm going to pat that brush straight into the shadow. And I'm going to start popping that on the inner half of my lid. This color is so pretty. That is completely dry and it is going on the eyelid. Super bold and metallic. I love it. So I just cleaned the brush off on a tissue and I'm going to go back into the palette and take this shadow here called Style Flash on the same brush. And I'm going to start to darken the outer corner. And then I'm going to go back into the 200 brush which we first used in the crease, and I'm going to blend everything through. So next for the lower lash line, I've got this set right here. This is the Real Techniques eyelining set and it comes with 4 different brushes and a pouch. So I'm first grabbing the second brush in the set. This is called the Smudge Brush. And I'm going to take a combination of this shade here called Forever Friends and the blush in Hello Girly. And I'm going to start blending that on the lower lash line. Going back into the brush set, I'm going to take the first brush in here, which is called the Precision Liner Brush. And I'm actually going to take this shadow right here called Glam Girl. And I'm actually going to start highlighting my inner corner with this bright pop of orange. And then I've just wiped off that previous smudge brush and I'm going to blend that out. I'm next going back into the set and I'm going to grab the third brush across, which is called the Eyeliner Brush. And I'm tapping into the hot pink, which is called Dots Are Hot. And I'm going to start smoking out a hot pink wing. And then lastly, grabbing the final brush in here, which is this one here called the Precision Liner Brush. Oh wait, this one here is the pointed liner brush that I use for the inner corner, sorry. So this one's the pointed, this one's the precision. So I'm taking the last one in here. And I'm going to take that straight into the black, which is called Forever in Style. I'm going to start tracing my upper lash line and creating another wing. Okay, so here is what the eyes ended up turning out like. I'm actually really happy with the way that it looks. I think that double wing line is actually really pretty and a little bit unexpected, which I think is quite fun and kind of my taste in makeup. I was a little bit worried with the orange in a corner because I thought the orange wasn't kind of pulling through, but we'll see how we go with some mascara. So speaking of mascara, I'm going to apply a couple of coats of the Tarte Lights Camera Lashes mascara and we'll come right back. So next, moving on to brows, I've got two brow products I want to try out again. The first one is the Tarte Amazonian Clay Waterproof Brow Pencil in the shade Rich Brown. And the brow gel is the Tarte Colored Clay Tinted Brow Gel in the shade Black Brown. So next for lashes, I've got this set of lashes right here from Gemma Isabella Cosmetics. These are in the style Main Bay. So here is what they look like. As you can see, they're a really nice, natural, wispy set of lashes. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to take the lash and cut it directly in half so I can use the inner corner as a half set of lash. Okay, so hopefully you can see what I've done here. So I just took the inner half of each set of these lashes and then I cut off an extra cluster. So you can see I've got the inner half plus one more. So I'm going to stick the inner half of the lashes on my outer half of my eye, and then the extra cluster, if I need it, I can stick one more in to help them blend. So I'm going to go right ahead and do that. So here's what the eyes ended up turning out like. I am so in love with the way that they look. I really have been loving this half eyelash outer corner kind of trend recently. I feel like it's just enough to kind of give me a little bit of oomph but not really take over the whole entire eye. It feels a lot more comfortable and it pretty much takes 2 seconds, especially because I have a couple more sets of eyelashes kind of lying around from all of my recent hauls. I've just been cutting them all in half and just wearing them as half lashes recently, and I've been so in love with it. So let's go right ahead, zoom you guys out, and we'll start on lips. Okay, so next moving on to lips, I've got a stack of these Dose of Colors lip liners. I've actually already tried out one of these. I think it was this one in the shade Delight, which is a really pretty pink. So I think I'm going to go for one of the more neutral ones today. I think maybe let's try this one right here in the shade Overdrawn. I think that would be really pretty with the eye makeup and my top as well. So I think let's try out this one. So here's what that color looks like. That is super, super pretty. Once again, that is the lip liner in the shade Overdrawn. And then I might just top it off with a lip gloss. This is the Dose of Colors lip gloss in the shade Goals. So this is what it looks like. It is a really pretty sheer milky gloss with a ton of gold reflect. So I'm going to go right ahead and just take some of that on my finger. These smell really good. They kind of smell like warm cookies, like fresh out of the oven. That smells so nice. I'm going to go right ahead and just take that right in the center of the lip and blend it out. And then to lock everything in, I'm going to go in with my Tarte Stay Spray Setting Spray. So yeah guys, this is the finished makeup look today. Let me know what you think of it down below in the comments. I am so happy with the way that it turned out. I love the double wing liner. I love the inner corner. I think it is super fun and kind of different for me, but let me know if you did enjoy this. If you did, then you guys know what to do. Please feel free to leave me a like, comment and leave any requests that you have down below in the comment bar. Subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell and drag it all the way down to all to become a part of this family and be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye guys. So this half has got one pump. It's still looking really red. Hold on. Maybe with this eye I'll try the flat one, and then maybe on this side I'll try the flat one, and then on the nope, I feel like I messed that up. And the brow gel is the Tarte Colored Clay Tarte Don't Be Afraid to Dazzle Double Duty Beauty nope. And take the shadow called